So I've got a few reports here that I've created, one with an image and one with just the tools. So I also have the list ones also, which we're going to go over in a few minutes here. Alright, so let's bring up the first one here. Oh, actually, I'm going to go show you the table first. That's what I'm going to do. So I've got a little database here, actually a little table I just put inside of AdventureWorks here. It's the Irs Data Table, one I created. And it's nothing special, it just basically has a couple of rows on it. These are the boxes that you would see inside of a W-2. This employer zip, social security number, employee name, etc., etc. You can see Brian Knight and myself, and then over to the right, some boxes would fill inside the W-2s. These are not the actual numbers. This is not my actual salary or Brian's. This is just numbers I made up to put in here to show you what they look like. So, and let's go back to our reporting services tool here, bids. There we go. Now this is an actual image of a W-2 in the background here, and on top of this image I've laid some text boxes. So I just went out along like a internet search and searched for a W-2 image, copied it and pasted it in here, and I basically added to my images over here. You'll see that, and this is a just a GIF that I've added. There it is. That's all it is. Found that on the internet, saved it, and then here you right click, go to add image, and I added the image to my report. You can add JPEGs and GIFs and lots of different image types. And I've dropped it in here. You just drag and drop it over onto the report, and once you do that, it asks you whether you want to use embedded, external, or database. So the embedded is going to be the way I'm doing it here. It's just a quick and easy. It's on the report itself and nowhere else. There's also a choice for external. External is going to be where it's out on a website somewhere. Usually it's an HTTP location, and you're pulling from that location. And then database, of course, is where you're writing a query to pull it from a database. What's the best practice here? The best practice is usually database. That's what you want to typically use as database, because then if you need to make a change, you simply make a change in your database. So external, again, is HTTP, :// and wherever your location is. And database is going to be a query from my database. And embedded is just on the report itself. Now, I can tell you I've had a client in the past where they've had hundreds of reports, and all the reports were using a certain image, a company logo, and they were all embedded. And then they decided to change their company logo slightly, and because that changed, we wanted to update all the reports. So because they were embedded images, every single report had to be touched and updated. If we had just used external or used database, we could have updated that one location, and all hundreds of reports would have been updated very easily. It would have been a quick change there. So maintenance is much easier if you'll use the external or database. So database, you have to have a source coming in, and you got to use tell it what field you want to use and which MIME type also. All right, so let's. We're going to keep talking about it, embedded and external here. I think I've already talked enough about it, but obviously I talked more about it. I'm talking about databases again, saying querying from a database itself here. So again, either external or database would be the one you'd want to use to avoid having to update multiple reports if your image changed. Alright, so any minute now I'll be done talking about images here, and I can move on and talk about some more important things here. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was talking about right here, so I'm trying to fill in the best I can. Don't worry, by the end of this webinar you will be thoroughly confused. I mean, you'll be thoroughly understand reporting services and how to use images and build forms like this. Alright, as soon as I'm done, I'll close it up. And I canceled. Alright, good, finally. Back to my report. Here's my W-2 in the background. And you'll see my little control boxes there, my text boxes that I've dropped on top of there. And I'm waiting here to see what I click on. I'll tell you what I do here. There we go. So I can actually move the W-2 down out of the way. And then once I move that out of the way, you can see all the little text boxes there. So these are all just individual boxes that I just dragged out and dropped onto my form. And I'm just basically placing the W-2 behind that, so you can see it behind my text boxes there. That's all I'm doing here. Down below there's the image, and up top are my text boxes. And I just basically dragged and dropped and placed it behind there. And I just kind of lined up my text boxes so they line up with where the images are at. So the name, social, all those items, the control number, I kind of snapped them into the right place there and get them kind of lined up with my background image there. Alright, so I use several text boxes here, and these text boxes I just dragged and dropped items from my data set over here. So I just dragged control number and dropped it inside of my text box just like so to put the data inside of there. And it shows up inside of there. So no issues there, really easy to do. And on the right hand side here, there's box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are where the data's at. I can right click on that and go to text box properties and go to numbers. And here you can see I selected currency and I selected the formatting that I wanted to show on that box. So even though it's a money data type coming in, I want to tell it to format it properly here. So it puts 2 decimal places. And here I'm previewing it. Oh, look, nothing shows up on the form. Nothing in the boxes here, nothing out to the control number, everything's gone. What's going on here? In preview mode, you're unable to see images that land on top of items. So if you have a text box on top of a image, it's going to render it incorrectly here on the screen. If you scroll down, there my text box is down below. And this is an issue with reporting services in the preview mode, and even when you view it in Report Manager on the browser, it's unable to render this correctly on the screen. But if you go to print layout up top here, I'll wait here, I'm going to click on print layout and show you what it looks like. This will show you what it looks like when it's printing. And in print layout you'll see, look at that, it looks beautiful. Comes out exactly like we want it to. The boxes are lined up correctly, so it will print. So this is a good way to do forms if you're only planning on printing those forms. If you want to see what they look like in preview mode, and if you're going to be using those primarily in preview mode, this is not a good option. Putting these images in the background here, definitely not an option for showing your forms that you want to show to your end users. But if you're just printing, this works great. You load up your image here and hit print one time and you're good to go. And I don't know why I'm drawing an X there. I was talking about something and I said don't do that, and so probably said don't use this method if you're planning on using preview mode. That's probably what I was saying. Alright, let's see more. Dubbing these videos is quite fun. I have to say, this is quite entertaining. I've never had to dub one of my own videos before, and trying to remember what I said during the video is quite entertaining. Oh yeah, you see a little 100%, 0%? That's when I'm muting and unmuting when I'm coughing. Yeah, you guys don't get to hear about that stuff when I'm doing the videos for real. Okay, alright, so there are layers here. So I can right click on my image and I can send it backwards or move it to the front. So the text boxes and the images are actually layered on top of each other, and just like an image software.